screen is visible and I'm audible to all of you. If you can give me thumbs up or if you can just confirm. Yeah, thank you so much for confirmation. Before starting the session, I would like to share a little bit about me. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, completed a couple of certification, member of many Azure communities. I also work with Swati.com, where we have certain things to work on for the community, and I'm part of a lot of technical communities to promote women in tech field. And this is what I have for today's session. So we will be talking about cloud landscape, and we will be also talking about the importance of governance framework. We will be talking about the cloud specific risks which are there, and also the regulatory landscape, compliance requirements. What are the best practices for the organizations on cloud-based digital transformation? So first, let's start with the cloud landscape. So we can say that cloud landscape encompasses the diverse array of cloud services. We can say that infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, along with nowadays the organizations are not going with a single cloud environment. They have hybrid and multi-cloud deployment models, and we all know that this also includes the leading cloud providers like AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. Every cloud service provider is offering a range of solutions which are tailored to different business needs. Additionally, the cloud landscape reflects the emerging trends, such as we can say that serverless computing. It doesn't mean that we are not dealing with the servers. It means that we are outsourcing the entire server provisioning management part to the cloud service provider. Containerization, edge computing, all these are driving innovation and transformation across the industries. And we are going to talk about GRC, that how we can work on governance, risk, and compliance. So cloud computing is not a new term. Cloud computing has revolutionized how business use and manage IT resources. At any point of time, from any device, from anywhere, we can access the resources and the services which we need at a single click, without waiting for somebody is switching on something and then we are getting the access. Everything is automated and managed. So cloud computing architectures relies on virtualization, which enables the creation of virtual machines and the allocation of resources whenever they are needed. So it's giving us the scalability, plus it is also giving us pay as you go model. Whatever you use, you are going to pay for that. So scalability means that we are handling the varying workloads. When you need to manage the traffic, you are deploying more resources. When you're not expecting much traffic to come in, so you can restrict the resources so that you can manage cost effective, as we discussed. Also, accessibility and availability is also a plus thing when we talk about the cloud computing. But everything is having pros and cons. Similar to that, cloud computing is also coming with a lot of challenges and concerns like data security. It comes with privacy. It depends on the internet connectivity, and that is the biggest challenge which is there. Additionally, vendor lock-in that can also limit the flexibility in adopting the different cloud services. To manage all these aspects, to understand all the challenges which cloud adoption is facing, let's have a deep dive and see that what all things we have for that. So, a lot of additional benefits cloud computing is providing in addition to the scalability, in addition to the pay or cost-effective model. It's very flexible. You can deploy your applications and you can go without worrying about the underlying architecture, without worrying about the patching, without managing the licensing part. So by leveraging cloud services, organizations are rapidly scaling their infrastructure according to demand. and also accessing the wide range of services. And also they are paying for the resources, as we discussed, only what they are using. Now the challenges, as we discussed, like the uh, data security, vendor lock-in, interoperability issues, all needs to be carefully managed. And also we need to ensure the consistent performance and also reliability across the cloud environment. And that is also remains as a priority for the organization transitioning to the cloud. So what kind of rules and regulations we need, what kind of policies we need when we are working with the cloud environment, and what kind of risk associated with it. So we till now we have understood the cloud landscape, that what kind of benefits we have with cloud, what kind of challenges we have with cloud. So with all those positives and with all those negatives, we need to work to minimize the negatives. So for that, we need to understand that how we can work on governance, risk, and compliance. So GRC is a framework which helps organizations to manage operations effectively, as well as in parallel to comply with the regulations also. So first, let's see the governance. So governance is basically sets the policies, risk management, access the threats, and when we have talk about compliance, it ensures that organizations adhere to the laws. Now together they ensure transparency and the accountability. So GRC is basically managing governance, risk, and compliance. So when we talk about governance, it's establishing the policies and procedures for the effective operation, wherein the risk management is helping organizations to identify and mitigate risk to achieve the set objectives for the organization. Compliance is helping the organizations to adhere to the law and regulations, which help in ensuring the ethical operations. What are the key components for GRC? Like the first we discuss is policies and procedure, which will help us in setting the standards and the consistent behavior across the services. Another thing is controls. Then we have risk assessment. Then the very important part when we talk about the compliance and governance, that is monitoring and reporting. Also, the continuous improvement is also a major key factor for this framework. And we can say that GRC is enhancing organizational resiliency and the integrity. So challenges which we talk about, if we are not managing the services, if we are not properly configuring the access and roles, these challenges which we discussed, data security, will remain same. When we talk about GRC in the cloud era, what are the challenges in that? The first challenge which we see is compliance complexity. Already we have an environment where we have multiple clouds, we are managing that. In addition to that, we have a complex regulatory requirements across the multiple jurisdictions. So that is also a challenge which every organizations are facing. Then we have a vendor management also, because when we are dealing with the multiple clouds, you have to have the relationships and agreement with the various cloud service provider. Data governance, when we talk about managing the data, establishing the controls for data integrity, data access, and the important part is retention of the data. What is the duration for which you want to keep your records? How you are managing your records? How you keep keeping your archives? Are you keeping the data in encrypted format where you're storing it? How you're accessing the data which is stored at the archive? So all these kind of questions organizations need to answer when they are going to comply with regulations and policies. If we talk about the governance in the cloud, so it refers, as I mentioned earlier, it refers to the policies, procedures, and the controls which are put in place to ensure the effective and efficient use of cloud resources. It also includes the defining the roles and responsibilities which establish the guidelines for resource allocation. And also it enforces the compliance with organizational standards. So every organization needs to have certain kind of roles set up in the environment. So that also needs to be taken care of. And also the governments help the organizations to maintain the control over a cloud environment and also optimize the resource utilization, plus mitigating the risks which are associated with cloud adoption. Now, when we are implementing the governance framework in the cloud landscape, it involves establishing the processes and mechanisms which ensure that cloud resources are used in the accordance as per the required organization's policies and objectives. Now, this includes that defining the access control, setting up the monitoring resource uses, enforcing the compliance. Let's say you work with the medical records, health data. Organization need to comply with HIPAA. If you're working with the finance data, you should be compliant with PCI DSS. So it's depend on the nature of the data which organization is working, nature of the role which organization is taking care. So by implementing governance framework, organizations can effectively manage their cloud environment, also mitigating the security risk, and also they will be making sure that they are aligned with the business goals. So what are the roles, importance of role of policies, procedures, and the control? So if we talk about policies, these are the high-level guidelines and principles that define the organization's stance on specific aspects of cloud uses, such as data protection, access management, and the compliance. So these policies are managed like the data will not be accessed outside this location. If you are accessing the data with specific devices, that will be blocked. If you are accessing the application from another application, so based on the application also that access can be blocked. So if you are editing anything on the resource configurations or settings, are you allowed to do that or not? So we can create such kind of policies to manage the data protection, also manage the access, and manage the compliance as well. Like this region, geographical region only will have access to this particular application. So other than that, all the access will be blocked. So that can also be managed when we have a strong policy setup. When we say the procedure, it's basically nothing but the detailed steps and the instructions which are outlined that how these policies are implemented and enforced within the organization. And when we say controls, controls are nothing but mechanisms, or we can say the safeguards, which are put in place to enforce the policies and procedures which ensures the compliance and security in the cloud environment. So in the cloud era, policies, procedures, and controls are adapted to accommodate the unique challenges and opportunities which are presented by cloud technology. So which we discuss, like security issues are there, monitoring issues are there. So all those can be answered effectively if we see the role of policies and the procedures and the control. And these implementations involve configuring the cloud services, defining the access permissions, establishing encryption protocols, monitoring activities to ensure the compliance with organization standards and regulatory requirements. Again, when we talk about roles, role of policies, procedures, and control, we have benefit, like it will give us the improve the security posture. It also enhance the regulatory compliance. Also, it streamline the operations, flexibility in the cloud environment. The challenge is the first challenge which every organization is facing, which I'm highlighting from the first slide, is a complexity which comes with multi-cloud environment. Also, potential gaps in visibility and control. We have to comply with different regulations. Also, based on the geos, we have to comply with the regulation policies, and also we have a lot of resources which are distributed across the geos, and we have to maintain the consistency across the distributed cloud resources. So these kind of challenges are there, but roles, the policies, and procedure help us in managing these things, and we will be able to manage it. What kind of impact of cloud on GRC practices? So this is very significant and multifaceted. So first, it is increasing the complexity. Yes, that is there, because you are introducing a new layer of complexity by practicing the GRC, by implementing the GRC framework. And this is because of the dynamic and distributed nature of cloud environment. So organizations must mitigate the risks which are coming, and also must navigate the diverse cloud service models, deployment options, requiring enhanced governance mechanism. Also, expanded attack surface is also an important major to discuss on, because the adoption of cloud services expanding the organization's attack surface. And this is exposing to a broader range of cybersecurity threats and the risk. And GRC practices need to evolve to address cloud-specific vulnerabilities like misconfiguration, data breaches, insider threats, which are the major pointer, and also parallelly ensuring the alignment with the regulatory requirements. Also, the shared responsibility model. So, cloud provider operates under a shared responsibility model where they manage certain aspects of security and compliance, while customers maintain the responsibility of managing those things which are provided by the cloud service provider. Now, it is important to ensure the accountability and transparency. So, governance, risk, and compliance practices is very, very crucial for maintaining trust, fostering organizations' resilience, and also achieving the regulatory compliance. Now, how organizations can achieve this? The first is clear roles and responsibilities. Now, when you have a clear roles and responsibilities for GRC stakeholders across the organizations, including the executives, managers, compliance officers, IT professionals, you're defining the accountability structure. Now, that is showing the ownership of GRC activities, decision-making authorities, and also reporting lines. It's very, very easy to manage when you have a clear set of roles and responsibilities. Now, the transparent communication is also a very important factor when we talk about ensuring A&P. So, for this, whatever information is shared, it should be between the business unit and between different departments, between different compliance teams, external stakeholders, but all the communication should ensure that it is aligned with the objectives and the expectations. So that needs to be there. The transparent communication needs to be there. The major part is documentation. You have to maintain a comprehensive documentation of GRC policies, procedures, control, compliance requirements, because these documents help us in implementing these areas. And regular reporting and monitoring is also a very, very important aspect in this. What is the significance of GRC in the cloud era? So, as we have discussed till now, GRC plays a very, very pivotal role in ensuring the effective management of organizational policies, data security, and regulatory adherence, because this will give us enhanced agility and scalability. We can scale the operations. We can also see the data security and privacy, because we are setting up clear rules. We are setting up the monitoring authority. Based on that, we can also protect against the threats, data breaches, insider risk, regulatory violations. And also with the help of GRC, we are complying with the regulatory compliance, even though it's very complex. But with the help of these frameworks, we can comply with the regulations like GDPR, HIPAA, PCI DSS, SOC 2. We can also manage the risk, because cloud adoption always introduce new risks which are related to data sovereignty, vendor lock-in, service availability, and so on. Now, building a resilience in digital transformation. So first, adaptive leadership that embrace change, which encourage innovation, which foster a culture of continuous learning. So that is important. Agile methodology, because rapid prototyping is required, quick adoption to changing requirement is required, with transparent and responsive things. Robust infrastructure is important, so that is also needs to be taken care of. Cybersecurity measures when you are talking about resilience in data digital transformation, and business continuity planning is also a very important aspect of that, and change management. So implementation of effective change management practices to facilitate smooth transition during the digital transformation initiatives is also very important. So in the last, in a summary, I just want to conclude that GRC practices are vital in the cloud era for ensuring accountability, transparency, and resilience. By prioritizing governance, risk, and compliance frameworks, organizations can navigate cloud-specific challenges, opportunities effectively. Also, this help in embracing the change, fostering collaboration, and also continuously evolving the GRC practices. These are, we can say, the key to unlock the success in the digital age. While keeping your organization safe, you can manage these things as well. With this, I would like to conclude, and this is the QR code for my LinkedIn profile. If you would like to connect with me, and if you would like to ask any question, you can post it in the chat itself, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to help you in your learning journey. Thanks again, all of you, for giving your time to learn about GRC in the cloud era.